Aloha and good evening, everybody. Hello, Beachcombers. How the heck are you? What's going on? Welcome to February's Surf Report, my webinar for the month, keeping up with pop culture. I asked you guys about a month ago, what you want to learn this year? And this was the first thing I grabbed off that list. And it really excited me because I'm a pop culture junkie, have always been, and it really comes in handy when you're selling online to know what's hot, what people are looking for, what's happening in the moment. Oops, let's get rid of that Thrifty Over 50 up there. Wrong show. Yoo-hoo. Here, I'll throw up my tiki mug. There we go. Just for fun. So thank you for tuning in live. Now, we're going to do this a little bit different than we normally do. I'm going to ask some questions. That's how we're going to learn. And I'd like to see answers. And if you don't know the answers, say, I don't know. That's cool. That's the whole point of doing this webinar, to see what you know, what you don't know. And what, more importantly, how can we get you to learn about what's happening around you in pop culture? So, Mom, this is that rare time when I don't mind if you answer. So feel free to shout it out because you don't know what we're going to talk about tonight. So it'll all be very organic, whether you know or don't know. Woo! How about that for going down the rabbit hole? All right, so let's get going, shall we? So, what is pop culture? You know, I started the weekly sandbar. I said, "Who was your favorite pop culture duo?" And my girl Punky said, "I'm not sure this is pop culture," and then she named 2 cartoons. Yeah, so totally right on. That's what pop culture is. Pop culture is cultural activities or commercial products reflecting, suited to, or aimed at the taste of the general masses of people. So everything around us that is celebrity driven, mainly movies, TV, music, sports, that's all pop culture. It's all what's happening in and around us, and what happens that influences others to do things. Now, you probably don't know this, but Bowling Green State University in Ohio, a little bit south of Toledo, that's where I went to college. And they have you can get a bachelor's in pop culture. And I got great grades in my pop culture classes. Unfortunately, I forgot to go to the rest of my classes. And after 1 year, they gave me a 5-year vacation. So what was cool is when I was getting the slide together, they now have a master's in pop culture. So, man, if I could take that over the phone or through the computer, I would so go back to school. I would love to get my master's in pop culture. Now, you might think, well, what the hell? How do you use pop culture? It's even better to have a pop culture degree than an advertising degree for people in the advertising field, because you're really in tune with what is going to drive people to go buy something or download something or go watch something. So when you are in the pop culture, that's your major, here are the things that we did in class. We read The Killing Joke, which is a Joker and Batman comic book. We watched a documentary called Go Tigers about the Massillon, Ohio Tigers and their football team. And I wrote a report on Kid and Play, the rap duo from the late 90s that was very clean and wholesome. So yeah, that's those classes, like I said, I did good in. I forgot to go to math and English and stuff like that. And my parents were very mad at the time, as my mom says, could have killed them at the time. But the fact that I became a small part of pop culture, it all worked out. Now, speaking of, I forgot to show my shirt. Okay, what's going on here? Tell me exactly what's happening in this shirt. And I wore this for a reason tonight, because Stacy said, "You're going to wear some fun pop culture shirt." I said, absolutely. So who knows what's going on here? I'll give you a hint. It's kind of a mashup. So you got to know who this is and who it represents, because that's 2 different things. So we'll see who is keenly aware on what's happening on my shirt. Oh, thanks, Mom. I redeemed myself. Woohoo! All right. While we're waiting for answers on what's happening on my shirt, there we go. Okay. Yep. So you're all kind of close. You got the wrong person, Angela. It is Chewbacca and Han Solo, but as played by Bugs Bunny and Gossamer. So it's a mashup. No, there ain't no Tweety on here. Who do you think's Tweety, Deb? the the giant monster or Bugs Bunny? Which one do you think's Tweety? But you made me laugh, so that's good. All right. So how does pop culture affect the things we sell? Because that's the whole point of this webinar. You know, I'm not just teaching pop culture to teach you pop culture. I'm teaching pop culture because a lot of times what's happening in our zeitgeist is what is going to drive people to our sales. He looks like Tweety. What? I don't think Debbie's ever seen Tweety. Okay, so here's what's really important about Guardians of the Galaxy. They're solely responsible for the return of the cassettes. So here's a pop culture phenomenon. When that came out on August 1st, 2014, if you've never seen this movie, Star-Lord, the main guy there, Chris Pratt, he has a mixtape that his mom made him. His mom was of Earth, his dad was not. And he had an old school Sony Walkman to listen to that mixtape. And the music was great. A lot of classic rock. And this is what it looked like. It was the Awesome Mixtape Volume 1. So that was straight from the movie. So on Record Store Day, they released a Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mixtape in 2014. And they made it look like his mom wrote it out. That cassette was new for $9. And as you can see, it still sells 6 years later for $40. So this was a pop culture phenomenon that started the whole cassette craze. Now, if you've sold a cassette in the last 6 years, you sold it because of this movie. Truly, people really wanted to have cassettes back, and there it is, a little bit closer. So although that looks handwritten, nope, that's how it came. Very cool. And this is the Sony Walkman that he used in the movie. And because of that skyrocketed in price. So here is before the movie. Here's 2 years before the movie. This Sony Walkman sold August 19th for $60 and August 13th for $146. So I didn't read the descriptions. I'm going to imagine they're pretty close to each other, but we'll say on average, it was selling for about $100. Boom. This movie comes out 2 weeks later. That Sony cassette is now selling for $886, $640. There is instant proof that something in pop culture, a movie, a Marvel movie, drove us to go buy things, and it skyrocketed the price. All right, so now this is kind of when the quiz comes in. Let's talk current pop culture. So I'm going to ask you questions. We'll see what the answers are. Some of these were from the original post, and some are going to be brand new. So who is the child? And while you guys are answering, I will cheers you. Thank you all for showing up tonight, and thank you for being part of the Secret Beach. I love all my beachcombers. Now, who is the child? Now, a lot of you, I don't think, knew who the child was. Yes, so Chris has got it. Not really Yoda, and yep, Debbie's got it, Baby Yoda. So there's a show on Disney Plus called The Mandalorian. And in The Mandalorian, there's what we, the public, have deemed him Baby Yoda. But the Star Wars universe never called him that. Disney never called him that. He is just called the child. And so here he is. He's adorable. If you have Disney Plus, have not watched The Mandalorian yet, it's a great show. Kind of crosses all kind of ages and boundaries. Stacy likes Star Wars. She's not a big nerd for it like I am, but she absolutely loved The Mandalorian. We looked forward to every Friday when it came out. And it did so good as coming out with season 2 sooner than they had planned. Now, why do you want to know about the child? Because the only way to keep a surprise like that under wraps was to have no toys. Because if a Star Wars movie is going to come out or a TV show, they have to have the toys in production months and months and a year beforehand. And so nerds comb the database for when companies like Disney file patents on names and things like the child. And so they couldn't do any of that. Plus, sometimes the secrets get out from the factories in China. So they could not make any toys. Now, the second it was out and it was a big hit, boom, everyone who was crafty started making their own Baby Yoda stuff. And here it was, the first thing on shopdisney.com. Pre-order sold out like that. So whoever is the first to get this, if they put it up on eBay, will sell it for 2 times, 3 times, even 4 times more than the $24.99. And by the way, they were coming down. Disney was coming down on the people making fake Baby Yoda stuff on Etsy, but apparently they missed eBay because I looked up eBay yesterday. 72,000 Baby Yoda things, mainly T-shirts and stuff, but still crazy. All right, what musical artist surprised everyone at the Oscars? One of the biggest surprises in Hollywood in a long time that no one saw coming. Even me. Stacey and I were in Cleveland. We had just gotten to the hotel, checked in, and then flying out the next morning to come back to Vegas. Turn on the Oscars, and the second it started to happen, I'm like, what? Yes, I know Sabrina was going for Eminem, a little on the wrong spelling side, but yep, Eminem for sure. I am not sure who Elle English is. I think Debbie was going for Billie Eilish. Deb, are you drinking tonight, Debs? Are you on the rum with me tonight? Yeah, so Eminem raised up from the floor, and he does not do things like this. He does not go award shows. He doesn't do anything like this, and it was an amazing moment because the crowd dropped their jaw. And here's the song. It's almost 20 years old, or is 20 years old, and still amazing song. And just to show you what happens, Oscars shine with big streaming gains led by Eminem's Lose Yourself. In the wake of Eminem's performance of Lose Yourself on the Academy Awards, on-demand streams of his song surged 217%. So the 2 days before the Oscars, there was 1.49 million streams of Lose Yourself, and the 2 days after, that's per day, was 4.74 million. 3.25 million more people said, I got to hear this song again. Overall, Eminem's entire catalog of songs notched a 19% increase in streams. And for downloads, Lose Yourself sold 4,000 downloads on Sunday, jumping 1,894% over the previous day. So that shows you how people just rush off to go listen to something, buy something, download something. So if you happen to have had a cool, rare Lose Yourself piece, maybe a promo CD, maybe you had something autographed, something from the movie, and you were just sitting around watching Oscars and he popped up through the floor, that's the second you should have listed it, because people will go online to look for stuff for Eminem tied to Lose Yourself. All right, where will you see the Red Guardian? Now, the real question is, we got about 40 people watching live. Will be any question that I will stump the 40 people watching live? Where will you see the Red Guardian? And no, Debbie, you will not see him at Frankie's on a Tuesday night. I'm just trying to think of what Deb's answer is going to be. So, all right. Where will you see the Red Guardian? Kevin gave me 1 question mark, and my mom gave me 6. Angela's on the right track. Yep, it's a Marvel thing. Yeah, Ginny at the movies, but I want the specific movie. He's in a trailer right now. Oh, is this a stumper? Is this the stumper? No, not the Red Palace, but funny. No, not an Avengers movie per se. No, go ahead, John. You don't have to wait. I mean, I want to see when someone hits the answer, and I know John knows. But yeah, if you know, shout it out. Nope, Wonder Woman, you're in the wrong comic book universe, Sabrina. That is DC Comics. This is Marvel Comics. All right, so the Red Guardian is basically the Russian version of Captain America, and he is in the new Black Widow movie coming out very soon. And you might not tell by this, but it's David Harbour, who's the actor who plays the sheriff in Stranger Things, amongst a million other things. And so Red Guardian was kind of like a fringe thing that most people don't know about. So now that he's in a movie, if you happen to have a Red Guardian action figure or comic book, now's the time to get it ready. All right. Why is a broken baseball bat about to sell for $20,000? And because of this question, I learned a new feature, how to do a new feature on Keynote. Now, it's not new to Keynote, it's new to me. So I thought, oh, that's cool. Why is a broken baseball bat about to sell for $20,000? Now, I can break some baseball bats, but I don't think I'm going to get $20,000 for my broken baseball bat. So I should do this. Who's this? If you know who this is, then you'll kind of start to understand why it's going to no. But these are good guesses, though. Walking Tall. No, that was a 2x4. He didn't have a bat. He had a 2x4. Joe DiMaggio. Nope. He was not strong enough. Nope. Yep. It belonged to someone famous. Well, yeah, you're right. It's this person right here. That is not Derek Jeter. That's the White Sox uniform, Angela. Geesh. Bite your tongue. You get hung. Yeah, there you go. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was so powerful in just terms of overall body strength. I mean, look how thick his thighs are that when he would strike out and be mad at himself, he could snap a baseball bat like you and I are snapping a tongue depressor. I mean, watch this. I mean, just without flinching, without thinking about it. So that bat is up for auction and they expected to get for $20,000. And there's the bat. So that's what's crazy. But people are going to be talking about Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, one of the greatest athletes of all time, one of the last who will probably play both sports at the same time. If you don't know, he played football and baseball at the same time. Okay, did you know Kesha is going on tour with Big Freedia? Stacey and I have our tickets. We are fans of both Kesha and Big Freedia. And I know that won't be a shocker to any of you that we're going to a concert. That's the norm for us. We've actually been a little quiet. It's been a couple weeks since we've had a concert. But Chris said, Big who? So I got a lot of head scratches. All right, so that's Kesha and that's Big Freedia. You heard the song, I'm assuming, or you heard that they're on tour, Tamara. So, did you know who Big Freedia was? And that's Big Freedia. I wanted to get the exact quote because I didn't want to mix it up. Freedia stated, I am not a transgender. I am just a gay male. I wear women's hair and carry a purse, but I'm a man. I answer to either he or she. Now, what's important about Big Freedia is Big Freedia is like the forefront of a genre of music that none of you have probably ever heard of called New Orleans Bounce. But we've seen Big Freedia in concert on her own solo tour, and we absolutely, and Big Freedia's big. She's 6'3", and then we'll wear heels. But Big Freedia put on an amazing show. But did you even know who Kesha was or is? So Kesha's been a singer for quite a long time. Her first big hit was a song called TikTok. She sings about brushing her teeth with a bottle of Jack Daniels. But she had some issues where she sued Dr. Luke, who wrote a bunch of her songs, saying there were some inappropriate things going on. And that got crazy. And she kind of disappeared for a while. But she came back with some big songs. And one of them is a song with Big Freedia. And so she said, hey, well, you want to be my opening act and then come out and sing the song with me? So very, very cool. And so now you've got this bigger person in pop culture, Kesha, taking a way lesser known person in pop culture, Big Freedia, and taking him out on a major tour. So I expect that early Big Freedia CDs would go for some even more money now. Now, the cool thing too is when you buy a Kesha the ticket, you get a CD with each ticket. So I'm going to flip the brand new CD I got, because we got two, obviously, for $10, $12. But no one's putting Big Freedia in their title. They're all using very generic. Kesha, High Road. That's it. Well, there's more to this CD than just the album and Kesha. Brian Wilson's on this album from the Beach Boys. So if you're going to list a CD that has guest stars like Big Freedia, Brian Williams, get it up there. Tell the world that those people are on the album, and then you'll get more eyes on your product. I don't remember Kesha wearing a TV on her head. All right. Why are there 17,000 pictures of brooms in your Facebook feed the last 2 weeks? That's a good memory. The only thing I remember about Kesha, she made out at a nightclub with Adam Lambert. There you go. Kevin knows who Brian Wilson is. All right. So how many of you saw those brooms and went, what the hell's going on in my feed with all these brooms standing up? Yep. Boom. NASA hoax. So people believed what they read on the internet. You should not just believe something because you read it. You should always check. The broom challenge that went viral on numerous social media platforms on Monday was a hoax. Participants in the challenge claimed that according to the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, the Earth's rotation will be in the perfect balance on February 10th, and it'll be possible for a broom to balance standing up. Two things. A broom can stand up anytime on its own, and the tilt of the Earth wasn't any different on February 10th than it is every other day. So it was all ridiculous. However, you saw all these things in your feed. Here's someone who did it in a grocery store. Here's Al Roker doing it on the Today Show. But let me back it up here. But how is this pertinent to selling? Like, what could you sell? Are you going to sell a broom? No. But if you're in the Merch by Amazon program where you can make pop sockets and t-shirts, the second something starts to hit, because you don't know, is this going to be a 2-day thing, or is it going to be the ice bucket challenge that lasted for like 6 months? You're not sure. But if you're one of the first up with a t-shirt or a pop socket, and or you're one of the best up, you'll sell some merch. So Debbie, I know, makes t-shirts on Merch by Amazon. So the second she started to see the brooms, and if she could figure it out real quick, she could throw together a really quick t-shirt, get it up there, and start putting it everywhere. Start posting it on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And then you can make people. Absolutely, Marissa. Silly people for sure. But who cares? Let's sell to silly people. Who cares? Yeah, it would be funny if people actually bought the brooms. But if you're able to make shirts, that's where it would work out for you. All right, here's a good one. This is not one of the ones from the original post. What is Ivy Park? And I'll even show you a teaser of mysterious boxes that showed up in a lot of famous people's driveways. Good guess, Deb, but we see where Deb's at today. Absolutely. Nothing to do with a cocktail. I don't think anything here in here tonight has anything to do with cocktails. So one morning about a month ago, celebrities came outside to find these in their driveway. What is it? And you're right, Deb. Silly people have money. So yeah. Boom. Angela. Activewear by Beyonce. Yep. Here was some of the original promo shots for Ivy Park. Beyonce had her hair done with those beads. And so Ivy Park's been around for a couple years, about 4 or 5. Wasn't huge, but she did a thing with Adidas. So the second she did something with Adidas, man, it went off the chain. Here's another orange box in the driveway. And so at the first run of stuff, it's all mainly maroon in color with some orange stripes. So if you happen to see this when you're out thrifting or even out at, say, like Marshall's or TJ Maxx, it's got a very distinctive color look to it. So if nothing else, you can spot it. And look at the solds in the last month or so. 2,803 things, and there's only 1,832 actives. So it is selling. Whatever people are putting up, it is selling. So keep your eyes peeled. It's one of those things where I'm sure it wasn't on a lot of your radars, but man, it'd be at least the first set of clothing will be really easy to spot because it's all kind of in that maroon and orange vein. And yep, name for her daughter. Correct. All right. What's so special about that Houston Astros right now? What is so special? Special. Oh, special. Right now, my wife's going, stop singing. We actually talked about this the other night. If you tuned in to the store review we did on Friday, we actually talked about it. You got it. Everyone's got this one. Kevin, see? Boom. I'll even put up Kevin's cheating scandal. Now, yeah, if you don't know, you've definitely been staying away from TV and newspapers. If you don't know, the Astros got busted cheating. They used a whole TV wall to figure out the signs of the pitches, and then they somehow conveyed it to the batters, so the batters knew exactly what pitch was coming at them. And people have some products up. They've added cheater to the titles. They've made some T-shirts called Cheaters with the Astros logo. So this is where if you got an Astros thing, put cheaters in it right now. You might not attract the hardcore fan who'd be like, oh, my team didn't cheat, but you might attract someone who's like, oh, I'm going to wear that and annoy my buddy. So, yeah, they definitely should lose their title for sure. For sure. All right, what's J Hud up to? If you don't know who J Hud is, that's Jennifer Hudson. If you don't know who Jennifer Hudson is, she's one of the best voices ever to come out of American Idol. She was also in Dreamgirls and some other movies and stuff. But what's she up to right now? Like, what's she doing? Like today, like we're all hanging out here, learning about pop culture. What's she doing right now today? Well, she is on Cats, but that's not what she's doing today because Cats came out 2 months ago. So that's not what she's doing today. Boom. Mom's got it. Yep. She is playing Aretha Franklin. So if you find anything cool Aretha related, not that I would say sit on it, but when this movie comes out, just knowing how good J Hud sings, I think it's going to be an amazing biopic. So that'd be a good time to have Aretha Franklin stuff up. Who's Batman? And of course, we're talking current here. So no George Clooney's, no Adam West's. Who's Batman now? Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I haven't heard if she's going to do the actual singing because sometimes in biopics they do the singing like Taron Egerton did in the Elton John, and sometimes they just lip sync like they did in Queen. I gotta imagine she's going to sing. Angela's Batman. Okay, cool. I am excited that Angela's going to be Batman. Nope. Sabrina, we're already past Ben Affleck. He's done. He hung up the cowl and he is over. So, this is a stumper. Did I stump all the 40 of you? I'm Batman. All right. Robert Pattinson from the the glittery vampire movies is the new Batman. That's the first picture of him. So, aiming towards a definitely younger crowd this time around. Every other Batman's been a little bit on the older side. This is definitely aiming to a younger crowd. And so I got to imagine there's going to be, girls go gaga over Robert Pattinson for whatever reason. So I'm going to imagine there's going to be some good stuff coming out that will be flippable. So you got to keep your eyes on that. Yep. There you go. Sparkles the vampire. All right. What son is taking over his father's movie franchise this summer? So you've never heard of the movies? What the hell? I can't think of what they're called. With the mopey girl. Even though I know all this stuff, I am getting old too. So, the Twilight movies, him and mopey girl. All right, what son is taking over his father's movie franchise? You might be Linda. Refresh. Does George Lucas have a son? So that's not the answer. I don't even know if George Lucas has a son. And no Star Wars stuff is happening right now. What son is taking over for his father's movie franchise this summer? Oh, I think I stumped you all again. And let me tell you, I watched a trailer yesterday. I am so jazzed. I mean, I was jazzed when I heard his son was taking over. So jazzed. Oh, right. He has adopted. But yeah, no, that's still not the answer, though, Angela. Yep. Ivan Reitman's kid is taking over for Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is coming out this summer. And if you've not seen the trailer yet, go watch it. It's definitely different from the old school Ghostbusters, but it's got a cool hook to it. A little bit of a horror story. You don't see the original Ghostbusters, but in the trailer, you hear Bill Murray's voice. So I think it's going to be very, very cool. But Ghostbuster stuff always sells well, just constantly. So if you find anything, Legos, figurines, comic books, all that stuff, Ghostbusters is a consistent seller all the time. All right. What 90s TV shows reuniting? Did I spell it right? Reuniting. Yeah, for a one-off. And that's going to be a huge, huge deal. And no, it is not. The hell's the name of that show? Damn it. See, I never watched the show. The show with Urkel. Is that Family Matters? I never watched it, but I was going to use it as my joke, but then I couldn't think of it. All right. What 90s show is going to be reuniting for a one-off? Boom. I see him already coming in. Yep, Friends. Now, they keep saying they're not, and then there's rumors keep saying they're happening, but I would bet you $50 right now it is happening. one time, 1 hour special, catching up with where the 6 of them are. And the reason that's important is the box set of their series still sells very, very well. Look at this. This person sold 19 of them. 19 of them. And so I think there'll be more of a thirst if we get to see them, all these years later, like catching up with Family Matters. Thank you. Catching up with their where they've been. So keep your eyes open for Ghostbuster stuff. $2 million each they're getting for that hour. It's about right. All right. Who are the Renegades, Defenders, Roughnecks, Wildcats? Oops, that shouldn't be a period. That should be a comma. Guardians, Battlehawks, Dragons, and Vipers. Who are all these people? Who are all these people? No, Connors is an ongoing thing, Jane. It's in season 2 or 3 now, so that's something that's been ongoing. Decent guess, but that's currently a normal TV show on the air. Pam's got it. Yep, that is the XFL, the new football league that started 2 weeks ago. I've been watching it. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool. They have some different rules. They push the game along a little bit faster. The play clock's only 25 seconds as opposed to 45. And it's pretty neat. And so, of course, when you start a new league, you got some fun names like the Dragons, the Vipers. You got some fun colors. The Vipers, green and yellow together is amazing. And the Seattle Dragons, for being a brand new football team, they filled half of the Seattle Seahawks stadium. They had almost like 40,000 people for a team that no one knows. And that's pretty impressive. Now, where's that going to help you in buying stuff? This was given out as a little freebie at the first DC Defenders game. It's a little foam shield that you put your hand through. And so people came home and then put it up and sold it on eBay. So keep your eyes peeled for XFL stuff. Especially if you live in any of the cities where there's a team, you're probably going to see some of the freebie stuff in the thrift stores. And I would definitely snag it and get it up ASAP. Why did Emilio Estevez lace up his ice skates this week? Why did Emilio hit the ice? But yeah, the XFL was fun. And here's the fun thing. They can talk, the commentators can talk directly to the coach while he's on the sideline in his ear. And if a quarterback throws an interception, there'll be a sideline reporter going, hey, what happened? They really are like in their face on everything, and they just have to answer, and that's part of the league. So it's definitely a little bit different. Boom. Well, Jenny, yes to play hockey, but yep, Mighty Ducks remake. Absolutely. He reprised his role, and the Mighty Ducks are back. Now, here's what you need to know about the Mighty Ducks. So the movie came out first, and then Disney said, well, hell, let's go build a NHL franchise, and we'll call it the Ducks. And as you can see, the early logo was a hockey mask that looks like Donald Duck. Well, Disney doesn't own the Ducks anymore, and the logo doesn't look like that anymore. So keep your eyes peeled for Anaheim Mighty Duck stuff anyway, whether it be from the movie or from the actual team. But when that, and I think it's not even a movie. It's I think they're doing a series. Excuse me if I'm not mistaken. So with that coming back, there'll be more interest in Mighty Duck stuff. So pay attention. All right, so another element of pop culture that fuels sales is when a celebrity dies. We all know that. We talk about it all the time in the thrifting board, but I want to show you exactly how it works and how I kind of figure this out. And I figured out it should be something that should be taught because, again, in 2020, the way people mourn the loss of their favorite singer, their favorite actor, their favorite author is they go online and they buy a book, they buy a DVD, they buy a CD, they download a movie, they download a song, and no one gets mad at iTunes for having the songs. No one gets mad at the TV for running a repeat of the actor who just died of his movie. Some reason people like to get mad in my group, but oh well, they don't last too long because I'm all about teaching you how to make the most money. All right, so here's the deal. There is a wave, and the wave is going to crest at some point and come back down. You've got to sell your stuff on the front end of the wave, obviously. And this is very apropos being in the Secret Beach and being beachcombers. You want to hopefully sell it at the climax. I really understood, and I'll tell you why in a second, how this works. But it starts to go up, and it's going to be how long the wave is based on how popular the person is or was for that matter. So Kobe's going to go for a long time. So Kobe stuff is still hot. He was a huge superstar around the world. The Asian actress that played a nurse in MASH died today. There's no merch of hers, and no one's going to really care. And I don't mean that in a callous way. I mean, there's no one going to eBay like, I need the MASH box set. I'm sure she was a fine woman. She was great in the show, but there's not a big demand for that. There is a huge demand still for Kobe stuff. All right, here's a good question. What was Farrah Fawcett's mistake? What was her mistake? She had one big error in her life. What was it? You got it, Jenny. Oh, yeah, I like that. Debbie, write that down. Be ready at low tide and sell at high tide. Oh, my God. Jenny, that was awesome. That was absolutely bonkers awesome. Leaving Charlie's Angels. Nope. Even worse, Ma. Even worse. But although that was a big mistake. No royalties for a famous poster. I don't know. Is that a thing, Linda? If it is, I didn't know that. But nope, that's not it. Ooh, did I stump y'all? Did I stump you? Yeah, leaving Charlie's Angels was not a good move, but that wasn't worth Marion Lee Majors. Funny, but nope, that wasn't it either. Cut her hair. Nope. Oh, I think I stumped you all. She cut her hair. I mean, these are all true things, but that's not her biggest fault. Her biggest fault was she died on the same day as Michael Jackson. She was dead for about 2 hours, and we were all mourning the passing of Farrah, and then the biggest singer of all time died, and no one remembered that Farrah died. So if you're going to die, don't die on the same day as Michael Jackson, that's for sure. So we were at an eBay radio event in Vegas, and Farrah passes, and word made its way around. And Michael Jackson didn't die in 2019. I obviously typed the date wrong. Yeah, he didn't die last year. And then 2 hours later, Michael passed. And so sitting in the casino and thinking about it, and I started to see, yes, thank you. I'm full of great advice, aren't I, Angela? I started to see things take off in price. Now, here's when I after about a month, I fully understood the whole thing with celebrity deaths. So Michael's a singer, so the things that people would want would be his music. Every single record store in the country had 2 copies of Bad and 2 copies of Thriller and 2 copies of Dangerous and 2 copies of Off the Wall. So after the first 2 people showed up at the record store to buy Thriller and Off the Wall, then others were like, I miss Michael too. I want to buy Thriller also. And they couldn't get it. Now, of course, used Michael Jackson Thrillers before he died were selling on eBay for $5. Within a week, because you could not obtain Thriller anywhere else, Thrillers went from $5 to $50 and stayed there for a couple of weeks. Now, Sony, being as smart as they are, they stopped all production on every CD they were making and turned all plants onto Michael Jackson stuff. But it was going to be a full 2 weeks between them doing that and getting the products back into the stores. People still wanted it, but those who needed it badly at that moment were paying $50 for a used Thriller. And I said to people, when celebrities die, I say, hey, I know you've got a collection of Prince CDs. Prince just died. Now it's the time to sell them. And people say this to me all the time. I'm not selling my memories. And I said, the memories are the songs on that CD, not the plastic round disc itself. Put that in your computer, download the music, put it on your phone. You still have all the songs. Because a year after he is dead, oh, shoot, that sneeze went right back inside. A year from after he has died, you can get your whole collection back at a fraction of the cost. Okay, so remember, Michael, 2 weeks after he died, Thriller was selling for $50. Here are the prices from 2017 of Thriller. Someone sold one brand new for $1.28. So you could have sold it 2 weeks after he died for $50, And then a couple years later, bought it back for $1.28. Now, that's how you do it. Sell the $150, get it right back for $1 a couple of years later. So this is why you want to be attuned to that. So Marissa's jumping ahead. This is, of course, going to be part of the webinar. Hang tight. All right. Avicii died. He was a DJ that drunk himself to death at 28. That is definitely a tortured soul that drank himself to death at 28. He died on April 20th, 2018 at 10:29 a.m. I was in the middle of teaching a class, and we were going from the thrift store to the restaurant for lunch, totally forgetting I had 2 Avicii hats in my eBay store. So he dies at 10:29 a.m. At 11:02 a.m., I sold my first hat, which I'd had in my store for over a year. And at 11:04 a.m., I sold my second hat. So boom, that quick. I forget where I was, but I was teaching a class somewhere in the country. And I got word as I was going to sleep that Vinnie Paul died. Vinnie Paul was the drummer for the band Pantera. And at that moment, I remembered I had the second Pantera album on cassette at home. And it didn't sell well. It's a very hard release to find in any format. So I called Stacy. I said, hey, send me more pictures of the Pantera. I listed in my hotel room, went to bed, woke up the next morning to a $118 sale for a cassette. Because why? Because people were mourning the loss of Vinnie Paul, and they went and bought cassettes on eBay. Same thing with Neil Peart. The Rush drummer died just January 10th, just a month ago. So this is right before he died. The Funko Pops of the band Rush sold for $34.95. Here is instant proof how this works. This is an hour after he died. The exact same set of Funko Pops. So nothing different, not like a rare type. Same thing. Sold for $81.50. Went up $50 from when he was alive to when he was dead. So you got to be ready to go. And so Debbie said, great question. Do we stock up a merch of older rock stars, actors, etc. and wait? Yeah, I wouldn't go into debt to do that. But as you see things that people are maybe, on the downswing, like Willie and like Ozzy just canceled his tour again. I am afraid for Ozzy. Now's the time to sit on some stuff. So absolutely. Now, not just death will bring you sales because of pop culture. All right. Who is this? Who is this pirate gentleman? No kidding, Linda. We'll be keeping Rolling Stone stuff forever. Keith Richards just stopped smoking. What? You smoked all this time and you're like 80? You're like, I've got to quit now. Crazy. Yeah, I think Eddie's on the edge of being over too, which is sad. Scary person? Well, no, not scary yet. Come on, someone's got to know who this is. I'll give you a hint. It's a singer. You've all danced to his song a million times, and probably every wedding you ever been to since 1985 or 6, whenever that song came out. I know, but I don't know. Okay. Looks like Richard Dean Anderson. That's a funny guess. Yes, you should all know this. You have all sang this song. You have all been drunk on a dance floor at a wedding singing the song and doing the movement. There's your little clue, doing the movement. Nope, not Adamant. Oh, I'm even stumping Paul. I thought Paul would know too. And they are on tour again? Who's they? What? Nope, not Thompson Twins. I'm not even sure what Angela said here. You tried to do the Macarena? No, that was a 90s song. Okay, you too. Macarena was not from the 80s. That's a 90s song. The chicken song, funny, but no. Yay, thank you, John. Dead or Alive. That is Pete Burns, lead singer of Dead or Alive. You spin me right round, baby. Right round like a record, baby. Right round, round, round. Oops. You know you've all danced to that song. Yep. Dead or Alive for sure. So anyway, this is Pete Burns. Now, Pete was born a man. Oh, Matt's a little behind us. That's why I'm like, there's no way Dead or Alive are on tour. Pete Burns was born a man, but he definitely felt that he was a woman. And unfortunately for Pete, he thought the best way about going about changing from man to woman was back alley surgeons. And this is what Pete looked like in the 2000s. Yeah. So was it Marisa who thought he was scary in the 80s? Yeah, way scarier in the 2000s. So one night, Stacey and I are sitting on our couch, and it was 11:02 p.m. I'll never forget this. And I heard the cha-ching of my eBay, and I sold a $70 Dead or Alive CD that I'd had in my store for quite a while. And I'm like, sweet, just sold a $70 Dead or Alive CD. And didn't think anything about it until a little while later, someone messaged me on Facebook and said, hey, did you see that show on ABC tonight? Plastic surgery's gone wrong. And we didn't even know it was on, so we didn't see it. But the focal point, I mean, they told a bunch of stories, but the focal point was Pete Burns, how bad his face was. That's actual cement in his cheeks. And so, although I can't prove it, I am sure that someone watched the 10 to 11 p.m. show, and then 11:02 came over to eBay and bought my CD. Could be the weirdest, most awesome coincidence of all time, but I'm pretty sure that is what happened. So, and then Pete ended up dying from his bad plastic surgeries. All right, but some celebrities have done something so vile, it's just best to steer clear. I would never touch any Bill Cosby record CDs, Fat Albert stuff anymore. Just wouldn't want to deal with it, nor would I touch any Harvey Weinstein stuff. However, mass murder stuff sells pretty well, so I guess I draw a weird line in the sand if I found some, Charlie Manson stuff or John Wayne Gacy. But, I mean, we all have our lines, but just be aware that some people, although in the news all the time, people aren't clamoring to get their stuff. All right, so here we go. Where do you find out what's happening in pop culture? There are plenty of places you can go every day to find out what's happening. So if most of this stumped you tonight, I would definitely do a couple of these, if not all. All right. Number one, this is like the easiest one for everybody because I can say where it is and what time it happens. 8:20 a.m. Monday through Friday. Pop Start is a little segment that Carson Daly does on the Today Show, and it's like 3 to 5 things happening in pop culture. Now, the only time it doesn't happen is when he's filming The Voice, but he wasn't there the other day, and Harry Smith filled in and did it for him. So if nothing else, turn on your TV about 8:19, watch the Pop Start, so you'll at least know what's happening in the moment for like the 4 or 5 biggest stories of the day. TMZ. I read TMZ about 20 times a day. TMZ has some dumb stories, has some good stories, has some ridiculous stories. I mean, here's a story yesterday about Bieber shaving his mustache, but that's a huge pop culture thing. He grew this creepy 70s porn stash, and yesterday he's like, okay, I'm shaving off my mustache. So that really won't make you sell anything, but it's a big story, and the girls and the kids who love Bieber, they're like, oh my God, he shaved his mustache off. So TMZ, keep up to date. If you download the app to your phone, they don't send you an alert for every story, but the bigger ones they'll send you an alert right to your phone. You're like, oh my God, that happened. And I think one happened while we were sitting here. Yep. NASCAR's Ryan Newman hospitalized after a scary crash at Daytona 500. So they even cover some sports things too. Oh, I sold a $39 CD while we're doing this. Woohoo. All right. I know this might shock some of you. I read the newspaper every morning. And I go through the whole paper, but the 2 sections I really dive deep into the most is the life section, which is like the entertainment section, and the money section, which of course is about Apple's bringing out a new iPhone. It'll talk about that. It'll talk about this store going out of business. So those are all very important things that we need to know. So every morning I am up to date on what's happening in the news. I get it old school. Guy throws it in my driveway every morning. All right, Ellen. I don't watch Ellen on the reg, but Ellen, is older, but she still listens to a lot of current up-to-date music and things like that. So if you're watching the Ellen Show, really pay attention to the music and the musicians she has on, because although she'll have on some older ones from time to time, she definitely has what's the flavor of the moment. So I think Ellen's a good stopping ground to see, hey, what's happening right now. That's awesome. That's probably the best comment of this whole show, Chris. Color Me Bad made TMZ after having a fight at the casino I work at. That is great. Real paper, Linda. Real paper. It's in my driveway every morning. All right. Now, I don't expect all of you to tune in to Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. It's an LA radio show, but you can listen to it on the interwebs anywhere you're at. I've listened to every episode since I discovered them in 2000. We moved to LA, or maybe 2001. So I've been listening to them for 19 straight years. It's a morning talk show from it's actually 6 to 9:30, the 5:30 to 10 bullshit's repeat parts, but it's morning talk show. So there's no music, and they're always talking about what happened the day before in pop culture and all kinds of fun stories like that. So you don't necessarily have to listen to that one. But if you do have a morning commute, you got to take the kids to school, whatever. If you listen to a radio that has some DJs talking, like a morning zoo or something, they're always going to be touching on what's happening in the moment. Like right now, we're all talking about how awful Shaka Khan sung the national anthem last night at the NBA All-Star game. And so every single radio show this morning will have talked about that. I guarantee it, because it was awful. If you have not heard it yet, go watch it later, but make sure you stay till the end, because she just murders the final note. Murders. All right. Of course, magazines are still good, and I would say these three are probably the best in terms of keeping the pulse on what's happening. People will have some good stuff, a little bit of trashy stuff. Entertainment Weekly is just straight on what's happening in entertainment. And Rolling Stone, although music, still has a lot of what's happening in politics, what's happening in movies, that kind of stuff. You won't find sports really in any of these things, but you will find all the entertainment stuff. All right, so I would go subscribe to this right now. Good Morning America kind of has like the pop start with Carson Daly, but they do all their little pop culture segment on their YouTube channel. So you don't have to watch all of Good Morning America. You just go to their YouTube channel, and then you can see all the 3-minute segments on what's happening. So as you can see, the last couple of days, Coldplay's got a new song out, new images of Meghan and Harry, sneak peek at an American Idol, how to get Harley Quinn's look. So they're really on top of what's happening. So if you don't know who Harley Quinn is, if you don't know who Coldplay or Meghan and Harry are, I didn't realize that Stranger Things trailer just dropped for season 4. This is where you can get it every day. So just subscribe. They're quick videos. If nothing, and again, this doesn't have to be stuff you like. Like, I read everything. I don't give two cruds about Bieber, but I will read about him to know when he's releasing an album, he's going on tour. So I don't just pay attention to the things I like. I pay attention to all of it. So I'm well-versed and well-rounded. Now, I've not listened to this till last night, but I wanted to find a good podcast for those of you who like to download podcasts. Maybe you got a commute. Maybe you like to take a walk or a bike ride every day. The NPR Pop Culture Happy Hour, it's not even really an hour. The couple I was checking out were around the 20-minute mark. Not as boring as normal NPR, but they dive down. So like the one I just listened to, the new Birds of Prey movie just came out. It's the movie about Harley Quinn, who was Joker's girlfriend, starring Margot Robbie. She played Harley Quinn in a movie called Suicide Squad a couple years back. The movie did way worse than they expected, although good reviews and good reaction from the going public. But they felt that the movie title is Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of One Miss Harley Quinn. So her name's way down in the thing. And if people didn't know, if they just saw the words Birds of Prey on the marquee, they might not know it's a Harley Quinn movie. So they actually changed the name of the movie last week to Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. And so the most recent Pop Culture Happy Hour talked about the movie name change. And again, it's something that happened in pop culture. DC felt they messed up with the name, and so I've never seen that happen. They changed the name of a title of a movie after it had been out for a week. That's crazy. Yeah, flu masks are selling. Now, if you make some fun ones, like pop culture ones, that'd be even better. See? All right, Mashable is a great website to tell you what's going on and just to show you some of the stories that they're talking about. The 15 horniest reality shows ranked. No more quizzes. HQ Trivia is shutting down. Facebook is experimenting with a Pinterest-like app called Hobby. Hey, Angela, did you know about Hobby? I didn't. But HQ Trivia was a trivia game show that happened on your phone, a minimum once a day. Some days had twice a day. Some days had 3 times a day. And I played it. My wife played it. Some of you played it. My mom played it. And they ran out of money last Friday. And we had just bought HQ hats from the app the week before. So the second it ended, I put the hat up, boom, $60. I paid $30 for it. So I doubled my money like that. So again, I knew it ended because of it, the app told me it ended, but if I didn't see that, I would have seen it on Mashable and I would have got it up right away and got my money. All right. Psst. Psst. Lean in. I'm going to give you a future bolo, but you got to keep it here amongst us because, I'm always, me, I share with everybody, but this is just for you guys. Oh, Stranger Things Ouija boards. I didn't realize that was a thing. Cool. That's good to know. All right. So what is one of the hottest in terms of flipping it for more money brand of shoes? So you buy it full price retail and then it goes crazy. So what is the hottest brand of shoe? And Angela knows, so Angela, don't answer. No new colors of the Secret Beach mug. Oh, Angela answered. Too late. Nope, not Nike. Yep, Crocs. Crocs are the hottest, biggest return on your investment brand of shoes. All right. Anyone know who this is? I'll give you a hint. Half his name is on his hat. It's okay, Angela. No biggie. Who is this swarthy young man that Stacey and I are going to see in concert in 3 weeks? Ooh, good job, Angela. Post Malone. Very good. All right. So these are the Post Malone Crocs. Now, Post Malone's had many Crocs, and I didn't realize how many Crocs were made with a famous person. So these Post Malone Crocs came out on December 11th, 2018 at $60. Sold out like that. Stacy bought them for me on the secondary market for Valentine's Day 2019. So 2 months later, and she paid $188. So they tripled in worth in 2 months. Now, I just checked the most recent pair of those for sale. $439 1 year later. So from $60 to $439, that is a 650% increase. That is better than the stock market. That is better than gold. If you would have bought 10 pair of these 1 year ago, holy crap, your return. That would be awesome money. Awesome. Here is Luke Combs for those of you in the country loving people. Luke Combs has now had 3 or 4. His also sold for $60. And as you can see, 50 bids, $305. No, you're not selling them. Get away from my Crocs. And then here are another Luke Combs, and here are another Post Malone. Now, you want to go over to the Crocs website right now, find the collaborations page, and sign up for future collaboration emails. And I guarantee you, every single thing that comes out that you can order online, and you got to be quick, it will increase in value. I looked at all of them. None of them have went the other way. None of them. And most of them have done the $60 to $300 to $400. Do they do these limited often? Yeah. Based on what I was looking at last night, I didn't realize how many there were until I sat down last night and really checked it over. And hey, this is that one time when I feel kind of young, because when I'm rocking my Post Malone Crocs and I'm in a store where it's a young staff like Buffalo Exchange, they're like, oh man, you got those Post Malones? I have never in my life worn any shoe, and I never expected to be Crocs, where people are like, oh, no way, get out of here. You got those? I never thought I'd be that guy. And Stace got him for me just because I like Post Malone and I like Crocs. So yeah, I'm that guy. I'm rocking some Post Malone Crocs. You know it. Now, here's the bolo. This is what's coming out this spring. That is not a piece of chicken sitting on top of it. It is actually the little things that they hook in through the holes. It looks like a piece of chicken. And they're going to be scented. They're going to smell like Kentucky Fried Chicken. Now, if you know anything about the collectibles that Kentucky Fried Chicken brings out, the last 2 winters, they brought out a fireplace log for your fireplace that smells like Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they sell out like that. And then again, the log is like $20, and then within a day, they're selling for $150 on eBay. So all of these kind of limited edition things, although this might seem ridiculous to you, it's going to be money. I'm guaranteeing it right now. I don't usually guarantee stuff. I guarantee it. Oh, yeah, you're right, Candace. They might smell better than some feet. Absolutely. And there it is to show you that they're little hook-ons, the little pieces of chicken. So get signed up. Make sure that you are ready to go when any of these come out. So they keep working with Luke Combs. He's got a bunch. Post Malone's got a bunch. And so whether I want them or not, I'm just snagging a couple pair of the next thing that comes out by any of them because the return's insane. And it's one of those things where, let's say one of them doesn't hit with the general public, you'll never lose money. Any of these limited editions, you'll never lose money. But for the most part, they're always going to be a 400% return, 500%, 650% return. And if you sit them for a little while, the return might go bigger. They might go bigger. I like it, Robert. Why did the chicken Crocs cross the road? Awesome. Signed up. Very good. Very good. Oh, you're so welcome. All right. So I do want to show you one more thing just to show you how crazy people are for things in pop culture. All right. So this Black-owned bank introduced the Harriet Tubman Visa debit card. And people went nuts because they thought Harriet was doing the Wakanda Forever from Black Panther. However, the president of the bank said, no, she's not. She's doing the sign language sign for I love her, love. And so people were calling for them to stop putting out this ATM card. And in a very nice way, the president of the bank said, F off, basically. We're a Black-owned bank. There's not too many of us. And Harriet Tubman's obviously a leader in the Black community, a very famous leader. And yeah, we're going to have this Visa debit card. So this was yesterday or Valentine's Day. Here's today. Debit card spikes. So the people who didn't know that that was a thing until they saw the article and saw the controversy, they're seeing 10 times their normal volume and bank account signups. Genius. Now, would they have got that 10 times had a story now dropped on places like TMZ? Nope. But guess what? The story dropped on TMZ and boom, every person, I'm guessing mainly African-American, wanted a Harriet Tubman card. I get it. I get it. If some bank that I never worked with brought out a Prince Visa, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Or a Spice Girls Visa. Woo, I'll be there real quick. So that's how pop culture works. In an instant, you can go from being an obscure bank that not many people know outside the general area where that bank is, having a Harriet Tubman card, to the whole world knowing, and then I want an account there because I want that Harriet Tubman card. That's how it works. That's how crazy pop culture is. Now, I got kicked out of college, but I think I kind of figured it all out pretty well, and I'm pretty good at regurgitating it and sending it back to you guys in the Secret Beach and the Thrifting Board and people I teach classes to, because yeah, we can talk about vintage stuff and antique stuff, and that's great. And that makes us money, but there's also plenty to be made in current pop culture things. So, and so that's it. So I hope you learned some stuff tonight. You know, sign up for that podcast. Go subscribe to Good Morning America on YouTube. Tune in tomorrow's The Today Show at 8:20. Pop over to TMZ every once in a blue moon. See what's happening. See who's getting divorced. See who's in jail. See who just passed away. It keeps you in the know real quickly. Yeah, Big Frida card is next. I get a Big Frida card. I like Big Frida. You know, I will say one thing about Big Frida. So here's Big Frida, Black artist, man who identifies as both man and woman, but dresses and carries herself as a woman. And Stacey and I were at this concert, white people, black people, there's some Asian people. It was a good cross mix. And New Orleans bounce is a very upbeat, up-tempo type music. And I'm like, why can't the world be more like this concert? You know, there wasn't a lot of us there because Big Frida isn't a household name, but you know, here we crossed, you know, racial lines for the same common love of this artist. And it was just a fun night. And so, you know, if the rest of the world could get like that, it'd be a better place. So, yeah, I don't know what got me off on my soapbox, but there we go. Shaka Khan debit card. And no, that screams at you. That was awful. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Deb. Funny you should say that because I was thinking about doing a daily or a weekly. Here's what's the hottest 3 things in pop culture right now. Because I expect and hope all of you will at least look at some of those things on the regular more than you ever have. But none of you are going to absorb it as much as I do. And I just, I live for whatever is happening in the moment. So I'm always up to date. And so, yeah, I think it's a great idea that we will definitely talk about, you know, what's happening and things that specifically could drive sales. So this new Rocket Man thing came out in Dubai, which is a cool video, but that won't do nothing for you. So I wouldn't share that one other than the video is cool. But if someone dies that is going to drive people to your store, then we'll definitely talk about it. So that's cool. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, Thursday, you're definitely going to watch Thrifty Business. Our guest spent $3,000 on a CD and book purchase. And I know not everyone's ready to drop $3,000. And she's just not even put a dent in it. Has already made 20 times back her money. So it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, you know, we're going to be talking media, but we're going to be talking more so about sometimes you're not going to find the core things like my mom finds. You're going to have to drop some coin, but you can make a lot bigger coin. And then I'll also be reaching out to the next store review for this Friday night. And that's it. Oh, well, you did not hear there would be prizes. Not here. Not here. Not here. Maybe in the Secret Beach, but not here. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, and I'll see you around the beach. Bye-bye. Cheers.